it's been some time, and I wanted to speak to you guys from the heart. I know I've been quiet for some time, and some of you have noticed. Some of you probably wondered what happened and where I went, why the energy kind of left and faded for the events from, post-September through early December. And, I want to make this video to kind of give people an opportunity to see that there is, I want to make this video because there are people like myself that are creators that still deal with mental health issues. We still deal with difficulties, being positive and difficulties being real in front of everybody because, we're so high visibility, where we're always people that are going to be seen, people that are known well. And just because that's the case doesn't mean that we shouldn't speak about how we feel and speak about what makes us human and speak about the dark side to the positives that, all of us see. So with that, I wanted to explain really the process of what's been going on for me the last few years doing EYECAM events and hosting all these shows and why things are changing for 2026. And the truth is, along the way, I kind of started losing the love for it. Not just the events, but, just being out there so often and being in the spotlight and having all this pressure on me. The excitement of doing the events turned into repetitiveness. It turned into exhaustion really quickly. And I denied it for a while. I kind of played it down, so to speak, because I didn't want people to really see that. But along the way, I started lying to myself more and more and putting everything that came with the events first. All the shows, all the shoots, all the models, I started putting that first above me, myself, Daniel. A lot of that struggle came from financial difficulties. These events are very expensive to put on. A mega shoot regularly costs me anywhere from $1,500 or more. And that's my bread and butter, that's my main shoot that I do. It's the mega shoot. I made the mega shoot big. I made the mega shoot what it is, of course with the help of my team, but I am the one who invests all the money into that. I pay all the models that I have on the poster. I pay for the venues. I pay for the transportation if that's needed. And while there is some help that comes along that way from my team, a majority of that weight falls on my shoulder. And not only is that difficult, but it feels like everything was pulling in opposite directions. The demand kept growing for the events. There was more content that kept, coming out. There was more expectations, and I just kept saying yes, thinking I could carry everything. But the reality is, eventually, the person who says yes all the time will fail, and they'll break. And that's what kind of happened over time with me. And I want to go back specifically to Summer Beach Party 3 this year. One of the best moments that we've ever created for the EYECAM brand. We went out to Long Island for the first time, and we had such a great time. It was such a beautiful beach. I couldn't have asked for a more cinematic ending to the Summer Beach Party event. But it was also a wake-up call for me, and it showed me how much stress I've been stacking on top of my own shoulders. A full-time job, a very healthy, growing brand, and on top of that, at that point, a major New York Fashion Week show was about 60 days away from the ending of Summer Beach Party. And that was the first New York Fashion Week show that I was going to do without anybody else really helping me produce the event. Gotham Glamour in 2025, February 2025, was helped produce by Donnie's Devil. And, Vice in September was done completely on my shoulders. I put everything together myself. I had a team there to help out, but when it came to doing the production and the planning and the spending and the on-the-ground movement, the casting of the models, the finding of the designers, that was all me. In addition to the expense. And I burned out really badly. I kept putting my personal life second. I focused so much on issues within the brand and within the team that it took all of the life out of me. It took all of the energy and excitement that I had for these events away. And I was never home. And when I was home, I was tired. I was sleeping. I was just not there. My friends know it. My partner knows it. And all of that kind of culminated into a point where I realized that there was something had to change. But I didn't want to accept it until life kind of made it my problem to accept. And after New York Fashion Week, my cat passed away. Um, that was my best friend. You know, for anybody who has a pet out there and knows, you know, it's not just a pet. It's never just a pet. It's not just an animal with four legs. It's a part of your family. You know, she had been sick for months, and she had hit cancer. And I was hoping that all these events that I did would somehow be able to financially help me and put money back into an account so that I can get her the help that she needed, but it just wasn't there, you know. And yeah, I never realized how much I was actually losing. I never realized exactly how much I was losing by going out and stressing myself and doing so much until I came home and there was nobody there anymore, you know. So behind all the smiling photos and behind all the upbeat, positive DMs and posts and, you know, interactions, I was somebody who was watching my best friend slowly fade away and slowly die, pretty much. And when we had to put her down, that was the affirmation that everything I had been doing in 2025 just wasn't gonna make a difference. And I had been wasting time instead of spending time, and I had been losing time instead of gaining time, and that was the one constant presence that when everything was going terrible and then the world was loud, she was there, you know. And as she got weaker, I tried to hide that pain from everybody, but when she passed, it just took everything away from me. It took everything out of me, really. And you know, I want that to be something that people recognize. We don't have to struggle silently, and I struggled silently, and it's not good. When you're going through something, try to go to somebody, try to talk to somebody, try to find that friend or partner or coworker or family member and talk to them, because there was days where I felt that there was no other option, and helping and talking wouldn't help me. But it's exactly when I have those thoughts and I had those issues that I realized I need to go to talk to somebody. I need to do something before you know, something terrible happens to me, and then there's no going back. So you know, aside from that, I have some notes here. You know, New York Fashion Week and Vice was another high point. It was beautiful, it was powerful, it was everything I hoped it to be. But you know, behind the scenes, I was tearing myself apart. I couldn't celebrate the feeling of doing it because I was already analyzing every single thing at the show. I was analyzing what it was like to be backstage. I was analyzing what it was like to be in the crowd and how many seats were used and how the runway was set up and music. Every flaw and every critique was done and hyper fixated on so that I could realize how I could make everyone happy next time. And in that process, I forgot how to be proud of myself. And that really circles everything as to how EYECAM events have been for me personally the past 4 years. Well, now 5 years because we're in 2026. I began focusing so much on how important it was for everybody else to have a good time that I completely forgot about what it's like for me to have a good time. 2025 taught me a hard lesson about people. Not everyone around you has the same heart, and not everyone around you has the same intentions. And some are there from the vision, and some are there for themselves. And I realized that a lot of people were just undecided for me. I couldn't tell if they were there for themselves or if they were there for me. And certainly once things did break down and my cat passed away, I realized that there really weren't that many people who were truly there for me. Now I really loved everybody who reached out on my post about my cat, and everybody who reached out to me through DM, and the few people who actually texted me and called me. Those people will forever hold a place in my heart and will forever be there. You know, I will forever be there for them if anything goes wrong. But there were others who I put so much time into, and I put so much passion and effort into making them feel good about modeling and making them feel good about, you know, being photographers and making them feel good that, hey, it's okay to have a bad day, but reach out to people. Those people weren't there. And that realization really hurt. And for months I'd been fighting through depression really quietly. The weight was heavy, moments where I struggled with isolation, and in all of that I started to realize and see things clearly again. I realized how much that had changed in the time since I started EYECAM Events in the winter of 2021. how much my purpose had changed, and how much of me along the way had stopped being about connection and started being about numbers and money and expectations. And that's not what I started this for. And truth be told, when I started EYECAM Events, when I came up with the mega shoot and I came up with the $35 ticket and I changed the industry in New York City for these events, everybody looked at me and said, "You're crazy. You're not making enough money. How are you going to be profitable? How are you going to sustain yourself with everything that's going on if you can't put money back in your pocket?" And I told them then that the only reason I did all of this was because I wanted to give back to people. I wanted to give back to the community that I wanted to see. I believe very much in this quote that you make the world that you want. And to me, a world where photographers and models could come and be together and not spend a fortune was a world that I wanted to be in. Studios are very expensive in New York City. Models can be very expensive in New York City. And I get it, gear is expensive, makeup is expensive, outfits are expensive. I understand all that. I actually am very much into finance. But when I realized that everything just became money for me, it was a sign to me that it's time for things to change. A time for me to kind of get back to, it was a sign for me to get back to what I needed to be. And the only way I could do that was by putting myself back to square one and reminding myself why we started this in the first place. And the reason we started this in the first place was because I wanted to create a better community. And I think I have. But in creating that, I've accomplished that already. I've put my mark in the dirt here, so to speak. For years to come, people will talk about the mega shoot. People will talk about, oh, Daniel did, Gotham Glamour and EYECAM Vice, and he connected me to all these people, and I gained all these opportunities as a model, or I gained all these publications as a photographer, or hey, the guy taught me a thing or two about putting on an event and how to remain professional and how to be a good person. That's the legacy I wanted to leave, and that's the legacy I'm going to leave. So in 2026, this will be the final year of me hosting events. It's not me walking away from EYECAM photos. I'm still going to be EYECAM. I still will be at events. I will show up to shoot events. I will show up to be a part of events. I will direct events as well for Fashion Week and other smaller productions, but I will shift the focus from me being the sole financial provider for this brand that I've created to going back to giving back to the community and taking the focus off of just what I do and making the focus what I can do for everyone else. I want this year to be about fun and community and about memories. I think too many times I spent, and you can probably relate, but we all spend time chasing perfection, not chasing gold and good energy and just good memories, So with that being said, there will be 3 more events this year. The first of which is Gotham Glamour, which is going to happen on February 7th, 2026 in Midtown Manhattan. We are about to finish casting for that event. We have an amazing lineup of models. We have 7 designers locked in already. And I'm super pumped. It's going to be once in a lifetime experience for me. The venue is phenomenal, and I won't tell you the name. You just got to go to the Eventbrite and find out. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you can get there, I highly encourage you to get there. The link will be in the description box below. And I'm also going to pop it. Where's my hand? Aha! Buy a ticket. Please, thanks. After that will be Mega Shoot Chapter 12. And Mega Shoot Chapter 12 is going to be something different. We're going to do it over 3 days in 3 states. So right now we're looking for 6 models, 2 models for each state, essentially. And there'll be other models who attend the event, but we're going to put 2 models on the poster for each state. We're looking up the coast from the DMV area, Baltimore, Virginia, Washington, North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe Florida, Philadelphia, New York. But I will tell you that the Mega Shoot, the last day of the 3 will be in New York. It's only fitting for me. We started Mega Shoot in New York and we will finish Mega Shoot in New York. And that's aiming to be on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in May. So stay tuned for that. We should have more information on that event probably in March or so of 2026. And then finally, to close out the year, we're going to do it the way I want to do it. And we are going to fulfill the amazing crawling vignette that Stefania Sassano did at EYECAM Vice, and we will finish with House of Horrors 3. I will not say anything about that because it's too far away, and I haven't started thinking about it too deeply, but I can tell you I am going to go balls to the wall. It will be the biggest Halloween event you've ever seen. Not just talking about EYECAM, I'm going to make it the biggest thing you've seen. Maybe I'll make the tickets free. I don't know. We'll see. Don't quote me. As I said, I want this year to mean something, not only for me, but I want it to mean something for you. And I want it to mean something for the small models out there who need the platform. And I want it to mean something for the small photographers out there who want the exposure, and the big photographers out there who want to work with the big models that we have, and the designers and everybody in between. I want EYECAM to always represent growth and unity and everything that this community has stood for since day one, and that's being good people in good places. And that's something that I'm really proud of. I want all of you to be proud. I want all of you to see that what we've built together will not just stay here in 2021 or 22 or 23 or 24, 25, 26. It'll go on. There's plenty of models that I've worked with and plenty of photographers who can look at me and say, damn, yeah, I really learned something there. And this was never about me. You know, I want to make that clear too. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I just have so much that I want to say in such a short amount of time. This has never been about me. This has always been about you. You know, it's always been about the community. It's always been about what I want to give back to everybody. Maybe I've already made that clear, but I just want to reiterate. To wrap up, because I see my little timer there, it says 19 minutes so far. I'm probably going to chop that down. So if this is like 12 minutes in, you know, this is like a much longer video. Life is meant to be amazing. And in 2026, I want everybody who watches this video, it may only be 50 people, it may be 200 people, it may be 10 million people, but I want all of you to know that you can make life whatever you want it to be. You just have to go out there and do it. You just have to go out there and believe in yourself. And no matter how much you've lost, no matter how difficult the situation is that you face, or how far you've fallen from a friend, from a relative, from your love of what you do, you can always rebuild. You can always rebuild. I want to thank everybody who's going to support me this year, and I thank everybody who has supported me through the years. Everybody who's watched, shared, liked, commented, believed in me, and just giving me the opportunity to say, hey man, you're a good dude, even when I didn't believe it. Thank you. So this next chapter, what's the name, right? Everybody keeps asking me, what's the name of your EYECAM tour? When's your EYECAM goodbye? This is going to be called the EYECAM Worldwide Chapter. This is the final chapter of what we do. And the chapter is for you. It's for the memories, it's for the growth, it's for the ones we've lost, and for the ones that are still here, standing and creating. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you out there on the road. Or I won't. I don't know. I mean, everybody's fucking busy these days. It is what it is at this point, guys. Fuck!